Welcome to the Final Bell, a national sports discussion show where we tackle the hottest topics in all of sports. I'm your host, Femi Abebefe, and to my right, we have Corey Colbo, and to my left, Sean Church. How are the both of you guys doing?
Fine.
Great.
Corey, you're coming off of a birthday. He's doing good.
2-3. Not 2-4. That's a year away.
Still can't count.
Almost graduated college, but can't count yet.
That's excellent. I mean, we are well into March now, so we all know that the madness is on the horizon. And speaking of the madness, Gonzaga, for the first time in school history, is rated #1 in the nation in NCAA men's basketball. So what I want to know from you guys, can Gonzaga or will Gonzaga make a run at the national championship? Corey?
No, I don't think so. Just based on the fact that it's the tournament, I mean, anyone can win the tournament. It's a crapshoot. Coming in #1 seed, coming in ranked at all really doesn't really help you other than starting off with like the tournament with weak seeds as your like the on the outside, but it doesn't really matter. I think it's too much of a crapshoot.
Oh, I think they will. Kevin Pangos. He's a great outside shooter. I mean, he's going to be the difference as far as I'm concerned. But I can see what Corey's saying, though. You almost don't want to be a top seed in this tournament because if you're a top seed, you are targeted. Lower seeds, they're more prone to upsets this year than any other year. But with that being said, I think it's going to happen. I think they will make a run. I think at least Final Four.
Say my bets are Butler and VCU. Those two.
A flashback of 3 years ago.
best game of my life. I mean, Butler, they haven't been playing very well this season. They beat, I think, 3 top 5 teams, then lost to some really low-ranked teams, too.
That's a bad loss, to say the least.
High highs, low lows. But I feel Butler, they always put it together in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, VCU also, you mentioned, with Shaka Smart.
Oh, yeah.
Shaka Smart. Shot. Who doesn't like him? But, I mean, you guys mentioned Gonzaga, but what about the Indianas? Duke just got back Ryan Kelly. Miami is out there lurking. Georgetown. Do you think any of those teams can get in Gonzaga's way?
Well, I think Duke definitely with Ryan Kelly. I mean, you take Ryan Kelly out of the mix, I don't think that Duke can make a run, but just Ryan Kelly's presence, he doesn't have to score 36 points a game like he did against Miami. Yeah. Just even then, though, like he's just great player. He brings the team together, great senior leadership. He knows what he's doing out there, and they're just a different team with him on the court. Regardless of him scoring a 36 high like he had last game against Miami, he can even just put up 15, 20 points a game. That's enough impact.
I would say I think Indiana should watch out for Butler just because they shut Cody Zeller down so badly, though.
Yeah.
When they took him out of the top seed.
Yeah. Oh, and it's going to be a very interesting tournament. I mean, everyone's going to be filling out brackets, and I'm sure everyone's bracket will be messed up by like the first weekend.
No, the only one that's going to be perfect is a first grader. So
they'll bring them on the Today Show.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Goldfish picked out the brackets.
Yeah,
exactly.
Octopus.
But continuing with the same madness theme in college basketball, Brittany Griner dropped a 50 burger this past Monday. So what I want to know is Brittany Griner, the center for Baylor, the most dominant player in all of basketball? Not just college, but in all of basketball. Is she the most dominant? Sean?
I would have to say yes. You haven't seen this much dominance since Wilt Chamberlain back in the 60s. She is head and shoulders above everybody in talent and in height. I mean, you can see this. They cannot guard her. I mean, no one can get out there. They try to front. They triple team. And she still puts up great amounts of points. She just dropped 50 the other day. I mean, it was just, like I said, I've not seen that much since in college basketball in 3 or 4 years. And that much dominance probably since, I'd say, like Seth Curry. And even then, that's even, not Seth Curry, Stephen Curry.
Yeah.
Since, and that was 3 years ago. And even then, I think Griner's much more dominant.
I don't think she's the best overall athlete. I mean, in basketball, I think women's basketball, sure, guys basketball, sure, but the NBA, I don't think she can even compares to any of the guys there. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain, I think he'd throw down on her. Bill Russell would throw down on her for sure. He doesn't play games.
Well, yeah, but the question's not whether or not can she beat them in one-on-one or guard them. It's is she the most dominant in her sport. She in girls' college basketball, she's the most dominant.
He said all basketball.
Well, yeah, but I would say that she could.
Is her dominance level greater than the dominance of, say, a LeBron or a Kobe or a Durant?
Well, yes, definitely. Then
Yeah, I don't agree at all. I mean, I feel like LeBron, like if he went to like NCAA like college basketball, I think he would have just killed it. I think he would have done 100 for sure against like any low ranked team.
Triple
but then
digits.
again, Brittany Griner did against it. What was it? Not UConn, but
it was another team. I think it was
a high ranked team. I think I don't remember who.
But she's
was it Delaware?
Yeah,
might have been yeah.
Yeah, Delaware. Lena Deladon. I like her a lot though.
yeah.
But yeah, Brittany Griner is just. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the spin move that she had with the dunk.
Yeah, exactly.
I think she's easily the most talented player girls basketball has seen in probably 25 years. College basketball like the last 15, but NBA level, I don't think you can compare to them.
I mean, Sean went as far as bringing up Wilt Chamberlain.
Yes.
Do you think that she is the female version of a Wilt Chamberlain?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, the spin move in the post. I mean, she can kill it inside, and I don't think the presence of anyone in the WNBA for sure can handle that, other than possibly Lauren Jackson. But she's kind of frail lately.
Yeah, she's toward the end of her career. But I guess going from the hardwood to the diamond, news came out. Yankee fans again. Another week and another set of bad news. Mark Teixeira strained a tendon in his wrist. Now he is out 8 to 10 weeks, and that was during batting practice and getting prepared for the World Baseball Classic. So what I want to know, should Major League Baseball players participate in the World Baseball Classic? Corey?
Well, you can, by looking at the rosters, you can definitely tell that the Major League Baseball players aren't playing on the World Baseball Classic just because. Have you seen the rosters for those teams? It's like you're playing like the AA players there. I mean, the biggest name on the U.S. team is Ari Dickey.
Wow.
It doesn't even make sense. I mean, like the All-Star game the Olympic team for the basketball. I mean, it took a while for like all the All-Star players there to join, but at World Baseball Classic, it means nothing.
Yeah, it's. I don't think they should. I think that they should to a certain extent, as far as, you know, like I said, they should put up some good players. But even players that are the best players don't even play for the American team. I mean, I'd say that the pitchers. I mean, you look at Roy Halladay, CC Sabathia, Cliff Lee. None of them are on the team. Mark Teixeira did hurt himself doing something he would have done in spring training, but even that, I still don't think they should play because it's like kind of like saying, you know, hey, you know, it's like the USA team saying, oh, everybody but LeBron is not going to play this year, but LeBron's just going to play with a bunch of college players, or you know, why would he do that? You know, that doesn't make any sense. You might as well just all go in or nobody goes in.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, so what do you think that they could do to encourage these high-profile guys to play?
I would say definitely not play a month before the season starts.
So it's a timing type thing?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the thing that people don't realize is that the USA team plays in the summer. So if you're comparing it to the Olympics, their summer, basketball is played in the winter. Yes, if you played in the NBA Finals, you're just a month being done, but that's a month after being done, not a month before. If they would have played in November or December in a area that can actually have sun, you know, that isn't just like cold and snowy and stuff, I think more baseball players would want to play that.
I mean, it doesn't have like the mystique of playing at the Olympics. The World Baseball Classic just sounds like, I don't know, like the AA version of like the Olympics. It doesn't even compare. I think if there's money incentives for the best players to play, they would do it. Because I mean, why would you want to risk getting hurt at something that doesn't really matter in comparison to like the Olympics or even winning like the World Series? I mean, that's far more more power, more presence, and more legacy than winning the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, we'll see if they can make a change there, but as of right now, it's not looking too bright for the American squad for the WBCs. But with that said, we now have come to our first break, but first we want to hear from you guys. Can or will Gonzaga make a run at the national championship? We'll be back with the final bell.
I think they could, but frankly, I don't care about Gonzaga. I only care about Western athletics. So, but sure, I think they have the potential. So.
All right, so Gonzaga, no, I don't think they'll get there, but they're not going to win it. Like, Miami U's way too good. Miami U's too good. Statement.
I don't know. I think that Gonzaga has a good chance, but there's also, I think, a lot of other good schools in the running, but maybe even top 4.
Welcome back to the Final Bell, where we continue to tackle the hottest topics in all of sports.
Yeah.
Recently, Sports Science came out with their greatest athlete of all time bracket, and who came out on top? Bo Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Bo knows best.
Bo does.
So what I want to know from you guys is Bo Jackson, the multi-sport athlete, the best athlete of all time? Sean?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. You take two sports that are completely different. Football, which is more physical and more athletic, and baseball, which is more of a skill, hand-eye coordination game. And he dominated both of them. And at one time, in 1989, he had 32 home runs and over 100 RBIs and rushed for 950 yards. And that's unheard of. So, and it's not, you say like Michael Jordan or maybe even Jackie Robinson, Deion Sanders even.
Deion Sanders was a
these guys dominated one sport, but Bo Jackson at one time could have arguably been the best at both sports. So I definitely would have to say yes, he is the best athlete.
I could not agree with you more. As a Raiders fan, I think Bo Jackson is probably one of my favorite running backs that the Raiders had. His dominance in football, I think he was more consistent at baseball, but I don't think he was like overly dominant at baseball. But in the bracket thing, I think he definitely beats out Michael Jordan, who was phenomenal at basketball, but only like kind of okay at baseball, just because he only got to
double A.
Okay is being kind.
Yeah. Like, Sean and I were talking about like before the show, like how like he was improving like in the fall league after his first season in double A. So, he could have done. I think if he focused on one sport, not divided his attention between two, I think Michael Jordan could have been good at baseball too. But Bo Jackson, go Raiders. I think he's the best.
Bo knows best.
Yeah, definitely.
So I guess the argument against Bo Jackson would be because he didn't really dominate it over a period of time. It was kind of a flash in the pan type of thing. Do you guys think that's a valid argument? You brought up Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders played for multiple football teams, multiple baseball teams for a pretty good stretch. Michael Jordan, he was a one-sport athlete, but like we said it in one of our previous shows, the guy could almost fly. It's like there's been guys that and also you go on that Deion thing. Deion was also a great basketball player in high school. Right. So is it so lopsided to where Bo hands down is the greatest athlete, or is there more of a conversation going on?
Well, I would say not hands down, but I definitely would not say that that Deion Sanders is that he would get actually a lot of votes on that. Deion Sanders was the best corner that ever played for football, but in baseball he was pretty much just a pinch runner and a guy who would lay down bunts, probably batted around 200 every year, was almost there for just moral support for the Atlanta Braves. He was never really played that much for them. So yeah, you can make that argument sort of, but in the end I think Bo Jackson still takes I'd say if you ask 10 people, 9 of them would say Bo, and the 10th one would say, Deion or someone like, or Michael Jordan or someone like that,
So yeah, I feel if you have to make sure that people know who Bo Jackson is first off, and who Deion Sanders is too. Because if they just say who's the best, Deion Sanders, Bo Jackson, Michael Jordan, you're gonna go with Michael Jordan.
Yes, exactly.
Based on basketball, but I think Femi was right. I think the fact that he was there mostly for pinch running and his speed was such an asset for him in football. I think he didn't have the complete game to do well in baseball. I think too.
Right.
Yeah. I agree with both of you. Bo knows best.
Yes.
Sports Science got it right.
Bo knows. Yes.
Brackets never lie.
Yeah.
I really don't. Moving on to a guy that, we don't know much about. What his future will. We don't know much about his future. But Andrew Bynum now reportedly had some setbacks in training, so it looks like he will be out for the remainder of the NBA season. Unfortunate for Philadelphia 76er fans. So what I want to know, because his contract is ending this summer, should the Philadelphia 76ers take a chance, a leap of faith, if you will,
Oh.
and sign Andrew Bynum to a max contract extension. Corey?
The trade was a leap of faith. I mean, they're like assuming that he could be on the court for one full season. He had one good season where he played the entire season. Parts of I think 3 or 4 where he was on the court for maybe a quarter of the season. How did they do it?
Yeah.
How did they do it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the 76ers are going to sign him anyway to a max contract to save face, just because, I mean, what GM wants to look like that big of a fool for making that trade and not repeating anything after the one season that he's there? I mean, Andrew Bynum just sits on the court with different hairstyles. I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's probably the one thing I know about Andrew Bynum, other than the fact that he has really, really bad knees.
Yeah, well, it's gotten to the point now that I associate Andrew Bynum with the blazer and white shirt and jeans rather than playing. Should they sign him back? Well, no. That's obvious, but will they? I agree. I don't know. I don't think max contract though. I think 1 or 2 years maybe. But Core's right. No GM wants to go back and say last year at this time, that was a great trade, and then the next year be like, I made a huge mistake. No GM wants to do that. So I mean, they're going to sign him back. But should they? No, of course not. And that doesn't take a lot to actually think that. Honestly,
Yeah.
He hasn't played.
And so I guess where do you go from there if you're Philadelphia? If you don't sign him, you pretty much gave away Andre Iguodala for nothing.
I think first off, the 76ers GM should be fired because he made some horrible decisions the last couple of years. They shouldn't have amnestied Elton Brand. I feel that was a mistake. Their defense has been suffering this season because of it. And then they also got rid of I can't think of his name.
Lou Williams.
Lou Williams, yeah, for basically nothing. He was one of the most efficient players off their bench, and it makes no sense for why some of the things they've done this last season to try to win. I think he doesn't deserve the job anymore.
Yeah, Lou Williams was their leading scorer.
Well, I mean, they made the eighth seed last year, made the semifinals in the Eastern Conference, beat the #1 Bulls, even though they didn't have Derrick Rose. They still beat them. They still beat them. I mean, that's the thing. They still were good enough to beat a good, solid Bulls team. And then they go and make these trades. And so, I mean, I don't... The Thunder, when they were the 8th seed 3 years ago, decide, I'm just going to trade to get a big center. I'm going to trade somebody, Yes, they made their trades last year, but for James Harden, but they didn't trade away their best player just to try to get a better best player. That's big. And now it's a guard-oriented game now. I mean, it's all about having the great guards, and trading for a big man that has only played one full season, and even that full season has an asterisk by it because it wasn't even a full. He missed games, and it wasn't even a full season.
It was
a lockout season. So I don't know. I think that's a dumb move. Should they? No. Will they? Yes. That's what I think.
The Iggy trade, I think, was just done because they overpaid him when they signed him. I think.
Right.
But he brought good defense to the team, and he wasn't the all-star, like the star they thought he would be, but he brought good defense, and a lot of the people they traded brought good defense to the team, and that's what they're seriously lacking this year.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see where they go. I mean, there's even questions about if they'll even keep Doug Collins.
No.
I mean,
TNT needs him back, though.
He's a great commentator. We applaud you, Doug.
Yeah.
With that said, we've reached another break. And when we hear from you guys, we want to hear, is Bo Jackson the best athlete of all time? These guys think so. What do you think? We'll be back with the final bell.
I think that one can easily go to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's number 2 on that. Michael Jordan's number 1.
Scalabrini.
Bo Jackson wasn't Bo Jackson wasn't even that good at either of the sports he played. He was okay, but Michael Jordan was the best athlete at any sport at any time. So fair enough. Yeah.
I'd say he's the best athlete of all time. Played baseball and football. Played for the Oakland Raiders. One of the leading rushers of all time. Totally creamed that Seattle dude who was all like, I'm going to stop Bo Jackson. Ran him over like a steamroller. Yeah, Bo Jackson. One of the best athletes of all time.
I think that the NBA should still keep the 1-year draft just because I think it's a good idea for students to still go and experience a college experience. If they don't like it, they can go straight into NBA, or if they like it, they can continue playing for college.
I think they should make them stay longer in college. When they come out of, they're not going to play basketball forever. They got to have some useful skills that they can have for the rest of society function. So
2 words, Kevin Garnett.
There you go. There you go. Well said. Well said. There it is.
Always good to hear from you guys, the voice of the people, as they discuss the NBA's one and done rule. So I want to discuss it with you guys. I mean, Ben Howland, UCLA head men's basketball coach, came out and talked about Shabazz Muhammad and said that, oh, he's probably going to go to the pros, and kind of just dismissed him even ever thinking of coming back. And most people really think that he will go to the pros and probably be a top 5 lottery pick. Mm-hmm. So what I want to know from you guys, is the whole going to college process even worth it? Should the NBA ultimately get rid of the one and done rule? Corey?
Personally, I think of it in 2 ways. I think firsthand there's the players union version where the players, they want to get out there and earn money as quickly as they can. They want to try to make a life for themselves. And the other version of that is that I think that the players union wants their players to be educated. They know that most of them won't last in the league very long. And I think they're trying to give them the best life possible after their basketball careers. The NBA likes it just because they can show off the really top talented players in the tournament, having them on the top teams like Kentucky. Kentucky's been a first-round top 5 team the past couple of years other than this season. They've had the top talent. All the players have gone the top 20, I think, of the last draft. Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's a good way to display the talent, a good way to, I don't know, I think just showcase what they have, and it's a good thing for the NCAA and a good thing for the NBA to showcase the talent.
So you're okay with the rule?
I'm okay with the rule, yeah.
Sean?
No, I definitely am not okay with the rule. One and done is killing college basketball. Commentators around the clock have said that college basketball, and even though maybe the average fan doesn't see it, they have said that college basketball has gone downhill in the last few years. But at the same time, they're ignorant to the fact that they don't know, they're not saying why. The reason why is because they're one and done people coming out. The best players are going for 1 year, going to the NBA, and then bringing in new freshmen that are only planning on staying there for 1 year or 2 years. I think that it should be mandatory to graduate. Now, that's kind of, a lot of people might say, oh, are you kidding me? Well, do you know what? Look at it this way. If the NBA says you have to graduate in order to go to the NBA, what makes that a difference between someone who's like, oh, I want to be a news reporter? News reporter's not going to say, oh, you can go to 1 year at college and you can come and join me. They require a degree. Most places require degrees in order to go on to the next level. Why can't the NBA? Why can't the NFL? Why can't the MLB? I don't understand that. I think that that'd be a great way of doing it, and it would make college basketball a lot better, and it would bring it back to where it was. Even though I do think it's still great. I want to say that for that.
I think the one and done rule seems like it's kind of like a half measure. It's not like I completely agree with you. I think that the players need to stay there either at least 2 years or maybe complete the degree. But I think it's like a half measure. I don't think either team or either organization could probably convince enough people to vote on making everyone stay 4 years. Because I mean, there's a heavy cost going to college. It's not cheap. Scholarships don't cover everything.
The only problem is though, if you're probably going to go one and done, 99.9% of colleges are going to offer you full scholarships anyway. So, it's not like I'm like, oh, I'm going to go, walk on to the Western basketball team because I think I'm going to be one and done and go to the NBA. That doesn't, it's not going to happen.
I tried 3 years ago. It didn't work out.
Yeah, I'm actually still planning on doing that, so I just wanted to let you guys know. But yeah.
Secretly, I'm on the Western basketball team right now.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, yeah, I just think I think that's what they should do. It won't happen, but that's what I think they should do.
So you believe that they should have to graduate before they go to the NBA? I mean, yeah. They don't have to do that in the NFL. For the NFL, it's only 3 years removed, and then you're able to go. I mean, Johnny Manziel could go after this next season, and he'd only be a redshirt sophomore.
They do not have to do that in NFL, I agree, but I still feel like it'd be better for the... That's not the problem, and NFL's not the problem. You still have guys staying your junior and senior year. Yeah. You don't have guys... Because, it's such a physical game. You're going against grown men, and you don't want to go out after your freshman year. Some of these guys are 19 years old. They don't want to go against 30, Brian Urlachers and guys that are just going to rip their heads off.
Jadeveon Clowney thought about it.
Yeah, he thought about it. He's one in a million, though.
He's obviously not the rule.
No, he's not.
He's an exception.
That's an exception.
Adrian Peterson was an exception. Yeah. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
my vision, I think the most ideal way is like MLB. I think either you choose like immediately after you go to a complete high school, or you agree to doing 3 years removed from high school?
Yes, 3 years in
I think
college.
that would be the most ideal system for basketball, just because if the instant stars are going to leave high school, just get drafted. I think the people who are like the in between, like the stars and like the really solid players in the league, I think they'll do the 3 years to showcase their talents, possibly get their degree, and then also kind of see how well their talent will translate to the NBA.
Yeah, I think it's tricky. I like the fact that they have the option of going straight from high school, but like both of you, at least stay for 2 years if you're gonna go. Stay in 1
without
year
doubt.
totally makes a mockery of the entire academic
Agreed.
system. Guys are taking Cupcake 101 and then
I want to see John Wall play 2 years.
Exactly, and like, do we really need to see a LeBron or a Kobe in college? We really didn't need to see that.
No.
It's like they could have just. We knew they were gonna be what they are today. But speaking of guys who have gone to college,
Yeah.
horrible
That's the worst
transition.
finish ever.
I'll get us a good transition on the next one.
Yeah.
Von Miller has come out on Twitter and has guaranteed that the Denver Broncos will win the next Super Bowl. So we're not going to talk about his guarantee. I want to talk about guarantees as a whole. Are guarantees by pro athletes even valid anymore? We see them happen constantly. Are they even valid?
No, they're not valid. You get back up on the field. I mean, it's not like Joe Namath when he guaranteed the Super Bowl win on the Jets, where it was just on the paper. That was the first time it had been done. Yeah, got guys coming out. I guarantee, I'm going to win, and I guarantee that I'm going to rush this amount of yards, and I guarantee this and that. And it's just, they're not. You should feel like you should do that, and you should say, I'm going for that. But guarantees are nothing. I mean, come on. Rex Ryan said he guaranteed his team was going to make the playoffs last year. What? No.
He guaranteed Super Bowls. For
Yeah, he
2
did.
years.
He did guarantee Super Bowls. He's like, we're unfinished business, So, no, they're not.
I completely agree with you. I think there's two kinds of guarantees. I think the Von Miller one is the one that your team can make the Super Bowl. You have the talent. You have Peyton Manning, for goodness sake. I think they can easily win the Super Bowl, I think. Then there's the other ones like the Ryan Khalils that they're just trying to change the perception of their team, because the Panthers, they sucked like the last 5 years until Cam Newton was drafted, and then Luke last year was drafted. I think you got to change the perception of your team. The Panthers aren't probably going to make the playoffs anytime soon. I think probably next year, maybe the year after that, certainly. But I think the good way to change public perception is to put yourself out there and say, like, my team will win the Super Bowl. You're getting mocked a lot for it, but I think it's out there. I mean, any attention is good attention.
I mean, the guarantees, I understand what the both of you guys are saying, but I mean, the flip side of the coin, though, I mean, Plaxico Burress guaranteed that they'd beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And when when they said that, when he predicted the score, he said 23-17, we're going to win.
Right.
And then that's when Tom Brady laughed at him, and then they won.
Yeah, exactly.
but I mean, we've obviously seen guys end up with egg on their face.
Right.
And then we've seen guys also end up, I mean, Jimmy Johnson guaranteed the Cowboys would beat the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. It happened. So, I mean, not all guarantees are bad, sometimes it does motivate the team, sometimes it does get in the opponent's head.
It does. It depends on the situation. I think, like Corey was trying to get at, it's not like it's a team like the Denver Broncos, who were the best team in the AFC. They're like, well, we're going to guarantee we're going to win the Super Bowl. Well, you should, honestly. You should, because you probably are one of the best, if not the best teams. It's more like an underdog over someone who's, the favorite. That's when the guarantees are, like I said, Plaxico Burress. When he made that prediction and made that guarantee, the Patriots were the favorite team. So that's when they're valid. But when you have valid, when it's either unrealistic or common knowledge that your team's already good, then it's not.
It's not like Tom Brady's going to walk there and say, "Oh yeah, we're going to beat you guys by 40 points today."
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he did it on social media, and athletes on social media. We see.
Oh man.
Yeah. Speaking of social media,
Yes.
better transition this time. Arian Foster, Houston, Texas running back, has finally signed off of Twitter. Unfortunately, he had some pretty good tweets. We will no longer see them. But what I want to know is, should all pro athletes sign off of Twitter? Should they even be on there? Corey?
I don't really care. I mean, like, it doesn't really matter. It may distract the team to a certain degree. And there's coaches like Bill Belichick who absolutely hate it because he wants total control. He wants the team to be disciplined and focused on football. But I don't think it really matters. I mean, they're going to find a way to vent their opinion somehow. They'll find a camera. They'll write a letter to the newspaper.
Yeah, right,
They'll post a blog. Yeah, letter to the editor. My team will win the Super Bowl this year. It doesn't really matter. I think they'll find some way to outlet their opinions.
No, social networking is a proverbial foot in mouth, kind of network, because they, guys will go on Twitter and Facebook and say things that they would not say out loud. They would not find a reporter, and that's why they say it, because they can. I mean, it's just like texting. You can, an ex-girlfriend of mine. Oh, I'm still thinking about you. You're not going to say that to her face. No, because you're scared. You're not going to say that to her. So I do not think.
The human interaction.
Yeah. So I think that you should not. You got guys like what's his name, the Packers lineman, T.J. Lang, just going out and just getting all over the refs after the Seahawks Packers, the immaculate deception, and just Fail Mary, and just getting on and just making himself look like an idiot on Twitter when he gave up 8 sacks. Do you think he really wanted to do that if it was a microphone was in his mouth? No, he wouldn't want to do that because he knows that he can behind the computer screen. They should not, or at least they should not be allowed to during the season. Maybe off season, maybe, but even nowadays, it's all a clock. It's all around 12 months.
The media cycle is 24/7.
Yeah, so
365.
you got
the amount of blogs. Someone's gonna screenshot your tweet. Like even Maurice Jones-Drew calling out Jay Cutler during the NFC Championship game when Cutler got hurt, and everyone thought that he was faking injury or something like that. It's like
because he was.
But like you were saying, like guys are emotional. 140 characters, right there on a cell phone. I mean, you can really say something really stupid without thinking about it.
Right, agreed.
Which is why some of these coaches are not bigger fans of Twitter.
Not okay with this.
Some of them are getting it. Maybe it's to monitor the players.
Right.
I mean, isn't just like putting a post on Twitter just as dangerous as an angry player venting their frustration in front of a camera? I mean, there's plenty of examples of players just going off on the other team or opposing quarterbacks on when the cameras are right in their face after a really bad loss.
The heat of the moment, though. I mean,
that's so much better. Can you imagine Denny Green's rant if it was via Twitter?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that good.
Not nearly as good.
But the fact that he said they are who we thought they were.
And we let him off the hook.
The fact that he said it face to face, I love it.
Yes.
You can't do commercial tweets. I mean, you want to see Dennis Green just going all over the place with how disappointed he is.
I would love to have seen T.J. Lang say that on camera.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
I would love to see Brendan Iambedejo say that the Patriots' offense was gimmicky on camera. Yes. I would have loved to see that. I mean, the tweets, they're funny. I mean, even Kobe with the amnesty that tweet to Mark Cuban.
Right.
It's like, I would have loved to see that on camera. And, with the social networks and all that stuff, we don't get to see that anymore.
No. I mean, that's the thing. It's waiting until you tweet. And it's not happening in the present time. So that's why I think they should be able to do that.
I mean, I guess with that said, this show is what you thought it was.
Yes.
Angry tweets, all of you.
I will tweet angry.
No, say it to my face.
We're not fronting at the Final Bell. We say it to your face.
Oh, yeah, say it to my face right here.
And with that said, we have ran out of time. I think our producers are thankful for that.
Yes.
Off topic already.
We're Corey Como, Sean Church, I'm Femi Befe. For everyone at Final Bell, we are what you thought we were.
Oh, yes.
We will see you next week on The Final Bell.